Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com, setting the record straight about press experts. Twitter News is reporting today, herd immunity is not recommended as a strategy to combat COVID-19, according to experts. The implication being that all experts agree with the political agenda of Twitter and the left. Spiked magazine had a good article about this recently, the left's shameful abuse of the science. When Democrats say they're the party of science, they really mean don't question us. What the left actually does is they cherry pick a few corrupt and/or incompetent academics who are willing to carry their water for them. Here's MSNBC talking to Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci on herd immunity. That's not a fundamental strategy that we're using. The fundamental strategy that we clearly articulate and go by is to try to prevent as many infections as you can possibly prevent. And according to this graph from the Financial Times, that's exactly what Sweden has accomplished with their herd immunity strategy. The number of new cases in Sweden has dropped off sharply, while new cases are increasing rapidly in the rest of Europe. Sweden has proven unequivocally that Dr. Fauci is wrong. And of course, MSNBC and Twitter didn't bother to seek out Sweden's expert, who's proven that lockdowns and most of the rest of the insanity which Western countries did was pointless and destructive. Reality is that herd immunity is the only way to get past any of these sort of infections. Until the population becomes largely immune to a virus, the virus will present a risk to that population. Very few people are dying now from COVID-19 in Sweden because the virus is having a difficult time finding new people to infect. Most of the population has immunity. This is very basic virus science which has been understood for at least 180 years. Populations without immunity are extremely vulnerable, like when Europeans brought smallpox and flu to the New World. A huge percentage of the Native American population died because they had no immunity. Sweden's not the only place that's achieved herd immunity. Reality is that most of Europe already has, and many U.S. states have as well, like New York, where very few people have been dying for the past few months. But unlike places like New Jersey and New York, Sweden carefully managed their herd immunity strategy and paid a much lower cost along the way. New York City has by far the highest death rates in the world from COVID-19. They stumbled into herd immunity at a very high price. Sweden's intentional herd immunity strategy gave them a lower death rate than New York City, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, San Marino, Louisiana, Rhode Island, Peru, Mississippi, the District of Columbia, Belgium, Arizona, Andorra, Michigan, Illinois, Spain, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, the United Kingdom, Chile, Bolivia, Ecuador, Brazil, Italy, and the United States as a whole. Dr. Fauci says that Sweden's strategy is wrong, and New York, which has the highest death rate in the world, did everything correctly. It's pretty clear that Dr. Fauci is either incompetent or dishonest, and that's the only kind of expert which people like MSNBC are willing to speak to. So when the press uses the term scientists say or experts say, you can be pretty sure you're about to read a bunch of left-wing propaganda. Toto is not impressed by dishonest people, which unfortunately seem to dominate the Democratic Party and the press. Toto is pretty good at sniffing dishonesty out. You can visit him on the web at realclimatescience.com.